struggling. There we are. Nope, it says upcoming. Hold on. What is going on?
Does it have to do with dropping a video yesterday at all?
No.
No.
No, it says we're live. No, it says we're live on YouTube. Okay.
All
Got
right.
it.
Yeah. Now, on my end, Crazy B, before we get started, you sound a little on the trebly side.
I'll turn my volume down a tad because that tends to be the problem when that's
There
the
you
case.
go.
Is that
Up a
better?
little. Up, up.
Right there?
That's pretty good. Yeah.
Okay,
All
let's hope
right.
it stays there. If it changes, let me know.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. Today is Tuesday, November 18th at approximately 7:10 p.m. And wow, today really isn't our fault that there's technical difficulties. It would be due to the what, Crazy B?
Cloudflare was acting up.
And what is Cloudflare? Fair.
It's no, it's Cloudflare, like a solar flare.
Yeah.
Um, hold on, I just got a DM. It is basically a server site that hosts the internet websites and various things, and they have had problems.
Similar to what Amazon experienced.
Yes.
So Amazon meaning that they are that they do host servers as well. So apparently, what Evmux uses Cloudflare to.
Well, it uses Cloudflare for some things, and it also went down with the Amazon Web Service, because it uses that for other things too. So it can be on multiple places. They use different ones for different things, whatever. All I know is that when Cloudflare acts up and Amazon Web Services act up, a lot of websites because even X will go down if both go down. Truth Social went down today. Chat GPT went down today, and it always goes down when one or both go down.
Hmm.
I don't understand it any better than anybody else. I just know it's a server host place for whatever. I don't know if it's certain regions use
Well,
Cloudflare over Amazon Web Service or what.
yeah, what was interesting is as Crazy B and I usually come in anywhere from 15 to 20 minutes, sometimes even earlier than the show starts.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and today, when we tried to get in, well, she got in, I wasn't able to, so we switched over to the other studio, but then we couldn't get connected to Rumble. So then and I was able to get into Evmux on my phone. So we headed back over to Evmux, and wow. The trials and tribulations of
I
trying to
know.
stay live. So did you guys
It
miss
was
us?
just acting up.
Yeah, did you miss us for the week? And nobody
I'm
in the chat
getting
says anything.
things.
Hey, Arby.
Well, give them a second.
Yeah.
It
Hey,
might it
Arby.
might
I
be a little
know you
lagged.
had 2 episodes. I enjoyed them, particularly Baxter getting treats. But anyway, Crazy B, we got a lot to get covered today.
Yep.
Why don't we get started, and tomorrow we'll do chit chat in the afternoon or whatever. We'll play catch up from our long week.
Oh, I most definitely. Give me 1 second. I am sending out links so people can
Okay.
find us.
All right. So while you get started with that, we are going to continue the Monday pre-records through Christmas. That Monday, I think, before Christmas. And we're going to finish up everything we have up to date on illegal immigration. And then with the new year, we're going to kind of decide what we're going to do with go live or do pre-records or something or other, but that's all to be determined yet. When we come back on January 5th, we'll let you know what the new and improved updates are going to be. We're not going to give too much away. But don't forget, next week is Thanksgiving. We will be off on Thursday and Friday. There will not be any pre-records dropped unless Crazy B, you want to resurrect something and throw it in the pipeline, but that would be your decision to do that.
We'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, under no obligation at all. If you get notified, if Crazy B, we'll let you guys know as the week goes on.
Yeah.
Now you sound too far away, Crazy B.
Now I sound too far away. How
There
about
you go.
now?
There you no, you okay. We'll leave it there for now. Chat, if you can't hear her, let us know. All right.
I got my mic pretty close. Hold on. I'm turning my fan down.
Okay.
I hope that helps.
That's better. So
okay.
One of the things we're going to do for the next 4 weeks is, well, approximately 4 weeks, is on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Is that correct, Crazy B, or did we figure every day for the item number 1 on the list? Is that every day?
Oh, you suggested every day. I believe we suggested every day because.
Oh yeah, we have enough.
We only go.
Right. We have enough.
Yeah, we have enough, and we can add to it as we go if we run short.
Okay, so with that being said, we're going to introduce a little new concept for you all. As you know, Crazy B started out testing and playing around with the studio in the sister channel Questions That Need Answers. And one of the things that when I got kind of involved there was a Christmas idea that she had envisioned. And her and I went online. You can still look it up under Questions That Need Answers. Did a whole segment on Christmas crafts, ideas, recipes, and all of that. And so in talking, we kind of determined that given the complaints of how tough things are at this holiday season, with the SNAP benefits being taken away, money being as tight as it is, that we would resurrect one of those ideas at the beginning of each segment. So for the guys in the audience that may or may not like it, women as well, just skip this portion and we'll pick up at the end of this. So Crazy B, why don't you take it away?
All right. So what we have up is our what we started with first last time was the Christmas paper chain. Simple, easy craft. Gets a cheap dollar store pack of paper, craft paper, things you have laying around the house, and you can just easily.
Can you zoom out on those paper chains?
I know they didn't show them much.
No, but
they're kind of small. That's why.
Page. Yeah, they're kind of cute. Are they buttons on there? Yeah.
Yeah, they have just your regular 4-hole buttons for sewing onto whatever garment from the 80s, 90s, or whatever color you feel like.
One moment, Crazy B, why I addressed this person in the chat. What do you mean, boo? They were already out at boo time. You missed that.
Yeah, this is to give people time to make it for Christmas. Correct. This also can work for Thanksgiving. You can turn these into turkeys and pilgrims. These can work for any holiday. And I know he's being silly. Yeah, don't take him seriously. It's Arby.
Yeah. I'm just saying. He said boo. I caught his boo. I'm going to remember they were out at boo.
Yeah, and then he put, it's not even Thanksgiving. Uh-huh. Nope. Harem. Nope. Haram. We're giving people time to get this stuff together. Right. And hey, JJ.
Uh,
Ugh.
and hopefully we might have a new subscriber tonight. I don't know if she's listening or not. After tonight, she might not even talk to me as a family member. So I don't know, but if you're listening, you know who you are, and you can always call me later. So,
Yep.
um, already forewarned her. Chat. She probably wouldn't participate in the chat, but don't let my family members scare you away. Um, so go ahead, Crazy Bee. But they are
So,
with, as you said, they could be used at any time for any really holiday,
yes.
for any holiday.
Yes.
Okay.
And again, even the colors here, you could turn these into little pilgrim chains
Mm-hmm.
and turkey chains or whatever. You can have absolute fun with it. And it's all so simple of, cutting the strips, pasting the ends, and then alternating. Heck, cut up some old toilet paper tubes and split the end, and then just paint the toilet paper or the paper towel rolls. The tubes inside. You could cut them
Right.
into two, like 1 inch segments,
Right.
and then just try not to let them unravel because they are a spiral. But you could do that with pretty much whatever you have laying around the house. And so it's a cute little idea to keep the kids busy. If you have pets, good luck getting your pets to cooperate. But yeah,
I really
it
like
says
those. I like those, but for some reason, why do I recall making those paper chains way bigger than the loop? Uh, the loops are
I
the,
always did too. I was
yeah.
never good at keeping them uniform. Some were bigger,
Look at
some
how,
were
yeah, look
tighter.
at
I
how
was
tight they are. There's
horrible.
no way that's happening. I mean, I might get one of them done, and now after that, I'd be like, nah.
No, I always leave a little bit of a gap so it's not so tight. But everybody can do their own thing.
Right.
And RV says, "Damn it! Now you got Baxter going with the Christmas spirit. He's asking for reindeer antlers to chew on."
There you go.
And yes, it is still pumpkin spice season, but I don't like pumpkin spice.
Neither do I.
I'm a
So
weirdo.
we have that in common as well. Uh,
Maybe once in a blue moon, not all the time, but
no,
yeah,
not at
you
all.
get some cotton balls from your cosmetics. You can draw on the eyes if you don't have the googly eyes. Or you can take some white paper and then some black paper and make the pupils with the black paper a little bit smaller. I mean, and you can make them a hell of a lot longer than this. I think the longest I've made was like 9 or 10 foot long chains with my siblings
Hmm.
that literally went around the Christmas tree. So, yeah, you can have all kinds of fun with this stuff. You don't got to use these exact ones. I never used a hot glue gun. Elmer's glue worked just fine and dandy. And if that doesn't work, stapler, tape, take your pick. Make
Right.
some paste with some flour and water, the good old fashioned paste that we used to make.
Yep.
That's edible, unlike Elmer's glue. Um, so you can have all kinds of fun with this. And we'll have the link in the description below. And then they also have links to other things that you can make out of cardboard and toilet paper roll trees and whatever else. So, yeah, just a little thing you can do with the kids. Keep them out of your hair. Give them something to do while you're trying to get ready for everything else going on. That's the way I've always done it. Give my kids something to do, like decorate the Christmas tree on Thanksgiving so I can get dinner cooked. Um, and then, various other projects between the two holidays when I got to get something done, get something prepped. It's always good to give the kids something to do.
Yep.
Oh
I
my
could
God,
see.
Elmer. Herbie. He goes, "Oh, I wasn't supposed to eat Elmer's glue. That explains a lot."
Well, I don't think none of us were supposed to eat the glue.
Play-Doh, too. So,
I never ate
yeah.
Play-Doh, but I think I might have eaten the glue in kindergarten. I'm not sure about that. but the smell comes immediately rushing back.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
There was a kid in my school. He used to eat erasers. I don't know what it was, but he would like constantly be chewing on erasers.
Okay.
Yeah, weird kids in school. That could be another topic.
Know if we have enough time for that. No, we'd have to start a second
Oh,
channel. All right then.
oh God.
There's the start of your
Ne-
holiday season. Be back for more tomorrow. All right, Crazy Bee. Let's hit the
yes.
hot and heavy stuff. What's up first?
That would be this. Um,
Right, and
what
we'll
was this?
just.
Oh, yeah. Go
That's
ahead.
okay. Yeah, that's what started it before we got the breaking news. And Trump reversed his course, and he called on Friday or over the weekend for the House to release the Epstein files. That was on Sunday, actually, Dee. If you would read the article again, you would see that it said on Sunday. He instructed House Republicans to vote to release all of the Jeffrey Epstein files. Massey uh, agreed with that, which forced Mike Johnson to call it a vote. With that being said, Crazy B, what was the breaking news that was sent on that then?
Oh, the wait, was it the Trump email one where him and Bill Clinton were a thing? Or
I don't know about Bill Clinton in that, but um,
no, it said there was an email or text message thing that said Trump gave Bill Clinton a blowjob or something.
oh really? I didn't hear that. Okay, I found that
Oh,
very
that was
hard to
going around
believe.
all over the place. I'm
Well,
sorry.
I was busy doing other things. I had the baby, so I didn't get to read about
I
that.
thought people were mostly just joking about it, but no, they are. I guess
Well,
supposed to be
maybe that
releasing everything
explains
now.
it now. Maybe explains Bill in the blue dress with red high heels on, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't see Trump in Epstein's house, so I'm not quite sure about that.
Yeah.
Hmm.
That's
Okay.
interesting. But they've never had him painted. Yeah, they never had the picture of Trump painted like
Right.
they did all the other presidents.
Uh huh.
So interesting.
Right. So then the next piece up is you should have the House pass the bill.
Oh, this one. This one. Yes. Oh, share. Good job. There. Now y'all can see.
So two. So today, uh, right before I don't even know where to go, Crazy B. It's going to be one of those days, girl. Scroll up, please.
There is nothing up. It's just blank.
There's nothing in it.
Like literally. No, I gotta. Oh, you mean scroll down so people can see the
It's up for me.
there.
I'll never get used to scrolling down, but I guess never mind. The House, of course, today voted to release the files regarding the late convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. The vote was 427 to 1, with a Republican voting against the bill. Two Republicans and three Democrats didn't vote. Representative Clay Higgins, Republican of Louisiana, said Tuesday that he had been a principled no on this bill from the beginning. Wonder why? I'd have to look into that. The bipartisan measure, known as a discharge petition, gained widespread GOP support after Trump said he would sign it into law if it was passed by Congress, reversing his previous stance. Supporters of the Justice Department, re, supporters of supporters of having the Justice Department, would you please move the cursor? Thank you.
Oh, sorry.
Yes, at all the way. I keep thinking it's a bug on my screen. You keep forgetting.
I changed it to bright orange
I know, but
so
it
it wouldn't
doesn't
confuse
matter.
you.
Bugs come in all colors. You know, they land on my screen. Remember, I'm the oasis in the desert. You don't want me smacking my tablet again now, do you? Or screaming like I did on, was that Friday? The bipartisan measure known as a discharge petition gained widespread GOP support after Trump said he would sign it into law if they passed it. Supporters of having the Justice Department release all of the files think they include information about Epstein's relationship with some of the world's most powerful men, including whether Epstein provided them with young women for sex.
And that's it.
Alrighty, so more to be forthcoming. It doesn't say how soon they have to. Well, I guess he's going to have to sign it, and then how long is it going to take the DOJ to release it, the files?
Yeah.
And I
Well,
wonder,
especially since they started leaking those fake emails that absolutely backlashed on them and backfired so bad. Oh, Trump was at Epstein's on for Thanksgiving of 2017, and there's videos and pictures of him with the National Guard.
yes, ma'am, Coast Guard.
Go
Oh,
figure.
yeah, go Coast
The
Guard.
Coast Guard.
Yeah,
Or
yeah,
yeah. And so it doesn't make any sense why they would do such a retarded thing. Except our politicians are stupid. Very stupid.
uh,
I just
I
I don't
wonder.
know.
I wonder if the file dump will be as big as the JFK files.
Well, the JFK files had 50 years, 60 years, or something like
Oh,
that to accumulate.
who knows how long Epstein's been, you know.
Well, I don't know if it's been as long as that, but
So
I'm
might
sure
be,
they
but
got lots. So,
right. Um.
oh, my eyes are itching.
Okay.
Sorry.
You're fine.
Um,
Let me just make sure there's nothing else on Epstein so we can get rid of him out of our. Well, I don't think anything is going to be. Oh, we got to
permanently
expose.
removed.
Yeah. Of course. Um, I'll send this over to you, Crazy B. It's from. Thank you, Blue. She got us an update. And
Okay.
it says that Attorney Pam Bondi has the authority to withhold or redact any material that could endanger national security or jeopardize an active federal investigation. Wonder how much she'll redact. Hmm.
Good question. Let me grab this link really fast and pull it up and add it to the also the show notes.
Yeah, it'll be
Uh,
JJ, is that audio
Here we
better? Oh,
go.
I better turn it up. I had it turned down because of the baby. That's why. Sorry about that.
Oh, I thought it was muffled just because that's how your mic was today. Because sometimes it is that muffled in general.
I
It goes
always forget
weird.
to turn it back up because I have to keep it turned down so as not to disturb the sleeping beauty that he is. All right, so we really don't need to go through all of this. It'll be in the show notes. I'm sure. Oh, I can't wait to see when this comes out. It's going to be I, Jeffrey Epstein, had sex with redacted, 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 redacted. Wow.
They're going to redact a lot of names of people who are in powerful positions and stuff like that. I foresee it.
Oh, big time. We'll have to guess.
Oh, yeah.
Same names they've been throwing around. Although I don't know if Bill will be able to discount that. They do have him in the dress, but we'll see. We'll keep you guys posted on what's going on with all of
Oh, being confidential information. End of begin and end.
it. Uh-huh.
Yep.
There you go.
Yep. Oh.
Jeez.
Oh, Lord. We need to release it. There is no list. The list is on my desk. The list is fake and made by Obama. Uh-huh. But now he says to release it. Yeah. Every time they hold it and he goes to kick it, that's exactly what's going to happen is they're going to pull it out of the way like, whoops.
It's sad.
Arby says, yeah, personally, I think the reason the Trump administration is happy to release it while they're in power can very well be because they can censor things in it. Who knows, though? I honestly think if Trump was in it, the Biden administration would have let it out.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have cared. They would have burned the earth to stop him.
Oh, yeah, they would have.
There's no way.
Kamala would have been ashamed, right? She would have gotten in immediately. All they had to do was associate his name with... I mean, I think they tried to insinuate that during the election with her, but if they would have had the goods on them, per se, they would have released it. There's just no ifs, ands, or buts about it. They would have tried to take him down any way they can. All right.
He says, Arby adds, I think they would have if it didn't implicate key Democrats as well.
Oh, we'll see whose name's...
He says Trump's in it, but not for the stuff, same reasons Epstein's in it. I had to censor.
Yeah, well, I think they... That's another story. We're not doing an Epstein thing for right now. We'll get into that once we get some names released. All right, what do we got up next? Hey, Vanilla.
LaMonica McIver, it looks like.
Her?
Hi, Vanilla.
Do you remember her?
She was one of the few that were
we played her
protesting.
Yeah, in fact, this has a video. Let's refresh the audience's memory on this.
If it'll let me.
A New Jersey congresswoman is facing federal charges after a confrontation with immigration agents in Newark. The Justice Department has charged Congresswoman LaMonica McIver with assaulting federal agents outside a detention facility. She claims the charges are politically motivated. A trespassing charge against Newark's mayor, stemming from that same incident, has been dropped.
Time now for your Tuesday weather.
Oh, that's funny.
Okay.
He gets dropped, and well, she was up in his face and touched him, so she must. Yeah, she must face at least 2 of 3 federal charges accusing her of assaulting and impeding ICE officers outside of a New Jersey detention center after a federal judge on Thursday rejected her attempt to dismiss the case. I love it. Finally, we see somebody potentially being held accountable. She was charged...
It's about time.
She was charged with 3 counts of assaulting, resisting, impeding, and interfering with federal officials following her May 9th visit to Delaney Hall, a privately owned 1,000-bed facility in Newark that ICE uses as a detention center. The government alleges that she intervened as federal agents attempted to arrest Newark Mayor Rouse Baraka. So the judge turned down her arguments that she is immune from prosecution under the speech or debate clause. Impeding an arrest, whether lawful or unlawful, goes beyond any reasonable definition of oversight and accordingly exceeds the safe harbor of legislative immunity the judge wrote in his order that he published last Thursday. Vanilla says, I can't believe that amount of resistance that ICE is getting with the small amount of people being deported. Oh, yeah, we're going to cover that a little bit later this week, Vanilla. It's ugly, the amount of coverage.
Yeah.
It's sad of what's happening. We'll probably touch upon that on beginning Thursday. McIver's actions as described in one count, which allege she placed her arms around the mayor in an attempt to thwart his arrest, then slammed her forearm into the federal agent, were wholly disconnected from the oversight she and the representatives later conducted when touring the facility, where they engaged in protective fact-finding related to federal immigration policy, the judge continued. Defendant's presence at Delaney Hall does not grant constitutional protection for every act performed in connection to that visit. So this is kind of the whole FAFO moment that we've repeatedly talked about and how to conduct yourself, right? We've had these conversations. It doesn't matter, man, woman, child, to adult, to senior citizens. Remember, we saw the senior knocking on the van, pulling into these places, screaming, I love you.
Yeah, that was wild.
And she doesn't even know who was in the van.
I know.
So
it's like those idiots that were all over Charles Manson after he got arrested and thrown in prison, and they all wanted to marry him, his little grease.
Yeah, that and have his children too. Who knows how
Yeah.
many little Mansons are running around. But I'm glad to see that she's being held to account on this. And we'll continue to follow the story and see what the two federal judges, or three, have to say about what she did. The fact that the mayor...
I hope she spends some time in jail for it.
Oh, you know they're going to give her community service. They'll probably find her guilty. But...
It'll be a slap on the wrist and a fine.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. All right.
But I can still have the wishful thinking.
I know we can still wish for it. All right, what do we got next?
This video you sent over a little bit earlier today about the trafficking of seniors in Maryland.
Yes, I found this to be somewhat disturbing, and I wonder, it has to be happening everywhere else. It has to. Right?
I'm not aware of it because I didn't watch the whole thing. I just did my best to edit the words so they were spelled correctly, and it's new to me.
So it was a new... I've heard different things from an individual perspective, or perhaps you've heard things on a particular facility. I didn't know that it was a statewide issue in Maryland, and I'm going to venture out on a limb and say that it is occurring everywhere based on knowledge I have from the places I've been, and the treatments that I've received. But we talk in trafficking in the usual terms of sexual exploitation or that of children. So when I saw seniors, I'm like, oh gosh, what are they doing to them? I thought maybe it would be making... Never mind. We'll talk about what I thought after we watch the video. Go ahead.
Okay.
A months-long Spotlight on Maryland investigation reveals a hidden crisis involving seniors and vulnerable adults unfolding in neighborhoods across Baltimore and the state.
Gary Collins explores what critics say state and local officials have known for years but have done little to stop.
It all starts with a call for help, and it starts again and again and again, directing responders to the same collection of Baltimore City homes.
20 Wishbone Medical on 20-70 Garrison Boulevard for injury from a fall, 69-year-old male, 17 Bravo 1 response.
What we have is a quiet generation slowly slipping away, and nobody's noticing.
We trace addresses that received multiple 911 calls of seniors in need of services living at the same address. After pressing for answers, we obtained a list of 119 suspected unlicensed facility locations that the city has been monitoring of seniors packed in apartments and single-family homes with no license for assisted living facilities, no inspection, no oversight. What happens inside many of these locations is stuffed in the state's own records that we reviewed. A 74-year-old man found outside an alleged unlicensed assisted living home covered in maggots. Another 77-year-old man discovered lying in a bed covered in feces, a soiled diaper found in his mouth. And a 60-year-old woman unable to walk who fought to get her phone back so she could call 911.
I can tell you what I suspect this is.
No, don't tell us. Just wait. Go ahead.
Okay. All right, because it sounds similar to stuff we've come across in Detroit.
Okay, what do you think it is?
It's basically they take over their Social Security checks and give them the barest minimum of care to keep them alive and don't give a fuck.
Yep.
It's a Social Security scam.
Yes, ma'am. Keep it going.
Medical institutions short on beds discharge what insiders call complex cases, who are often poor or disabled seniors. These vulnerable elders often end up in whichever facility will take them the fastest.
Yep.
Unlicensed operators charge between $600 to $1,000 a month, often capturing residents' Social Security or disability benefits, experts say. Meanwhile, according to attorneys, licensed assistant facilities typically cost $4,000 per month. The gap creates an underground economy advocates call senior trafficking.
That
has been identified.
$4,000.
Go ahead.
$4,000 is a low ball. That is way.
It is.
That would be the unlicensed version.
Yep. And families are expected to cover the difference.
Yes. And I would be one of those complex cases that would be sent to one of these facilities.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if I could never afford to stay in a legit place, and you guys know I've been in I've been in numerous facilities. Fortunately, always able to get up and leave on my own when services have been bad. And there have been some really bad ones. I can't imagine people being captured there with no place to go. So ultimately...
And it's mostly because the family don't check in on them.
Right. If they have family, their family could be gone, or the fact that I don't know the laws well enough to say how a facility, because most of them, to my knowledge, operate once you're in. Well, the state runs do here. That once you're in, they have to accept whatever money you have, right? But other places,
in some cases,
right? In many private places, they could be picked up. You're correct, Blue. They dismiss them just because they can. The United States does a piss poor job in taking care of our seniors. Families do. It's not like it was back in the day where, the grandparents lived with the children and the families took care of generations after generations. I know
I tried to do it, but then my mom started abusing my kids and I couldn't do it anymore.
Well, I'm fortunate with, as you know, with both my mother-in-law and my own mom. My mother-in-law, who from the time she got married, she took care of her own in-laws. She moved into her husband's home and took care of her mother-in-law, who was sick, and her father-in-law. And then her mother-in-law passed away. I forget how old they were, but to make a long story short, she took care of the kids. So she had my youngest all the way up through her mother, who passed away at 96. And everybody living in one roof. People doubled up in bedrooms and sharing spaces, and we don't see a lot of that today. I'm fortunate. I have the kids on the property here. If I need anything, they're not going to come. So even though they're right across the way, no, I'm kidding. But
I'm sure in an emergency circumstance, yes.
yeah, if it was an emergency, that's only if I could get enough yelling out they would never hear me. Like I told you the story about laying in the driveway. Nobody would ever hear me.
Yep.
So, short of carrying a bullhorn or a air horn, that they play at football games, I'll just be passed out down the basement somewhere. But we do a bad job on taking care of the disabled. Think about the physically handicapped, mentally handicapped that live in residential homes. We do a bad job in that area. Again, here we are, a little this was less than, how long is this video, Crazy B?
6 minutes and 35 seconds.
Okay.
Oh, thank you. And we're 2 minutes. We'll put that down. Sorry, out. Unless you want to chime in on how badly the elderly are being taken care of.
Hey, Cannabis.
Canada them.
No, we're not Canada-ing anyone. Go do dishes.
Mom,
we don't
need to
go to Canada. We can go to New Jersey or California.
They'll be the first to go. Unless they're like World War II veterans.
We are not sending people to Antarctica for survival of the fittest.
The World War II veterans and Vietnam veterans might survive a little longer than the young people.
Okay, go. What? But no, and hi, Cannabis. It has gotten way out of hand, and I started saying this all the way back in 2015-16 when I was working in home health care. Going to some of these facilities and going to homes where people were supposedly taking care of their elderly parents. Like, yeah, we had one patient begging us to take her with us and get her to a nursing home, but we couldn't. Her daughter was so horrible to her. But then again, we raised the kids to not want to take care of the elders by not demanding respect, and it's caused a lot of problems. And again, how can some of these kids who've been raised by severely abusive and neglectful parents want to ever take care of them? They're going to take care of them the way they were raised. Well, so it's again a big problem. Yeah, I see it big time in the inner city.
Yeah, and well, I came from inner city, so that's not necessarily the case with everybody, but
there is some where it is how they were raised.
Portion, that's true. I don't disagree with that for a large portion, but the other thing too, I think, is that you do reach an age, as far as being elderly goes, where now, in my mother-in-law's case, they could live off of my father-in-law's salary. Mom didn't need to work. So Dad was able to provide for 5 kids, plus, Grandma and Grandpa helped out. Obviously, they lived there, so they were able to give a couple dollars, towards the bills and stuff. But now with both parents in the home working, or if you're a single person working, with the high cost of things, what is it that they say? You start out as a baby and you're going to basically almost end up as a baby again. We revert back to what we originally began as. So we're going to go back into diapers. We're going to go back into wetting the bed or shitting ourselves or having to eat baby food. I mean, my grandmother ate applesauce. I can remember Mom blending food for...
I know.
I don't even want to go there, but so I could see where a child, although inappropriate, I could see where anger gets displaced onto the elderly parent then. We've been
Mm-hmm.
really lucky. Mom and dad are 93. They still are in their own apartment, can walk around and, knock on wood, for the most part, have been really healthy. We've been blessed. All the
Mm-hmm.
families have offered to take them in, and they want their independence. Uh, when my parents got sick, Eric, converted the carriage house and moved them in, and now the kids live there with the two boys, and uh, we've been blessed in that respect. I know many families aren't. I don't know if things would have been different, what they would have been like.
Yeah.
I mean, there are a lot of, but this bullshit, shove a dirty diaper in his mouth for what? That person, I'd like to knock the shit out of them, and then
Mm-hmm.
take the diaper and shove in their face.
Yeah. And this is again stuff like I said, I saw people who were taking care of their parents. Their parents had been in hospital beds in the room,
Right.
but unbathed for months and months and months. I mean, I used a blood pressure cuff on them. We ended up having to throw that cuff away because the body odor transferred to the cuff.
Wow.
That quickly because they'd been so unbathed. Try cleaning them with an alcohol swab to get a blood draw. You keep cleaning and cleaning and cleaning. I went through probably a dozen alcohol swabs trying to get debris off.
Okay, so what do you do in that case? Do you call the state
in? We have sent in skilled nursing to try and help the family. And if skilled nursing can't get the family to correct taking care of their parents, then the state steps in.
And then
we have to try minimal first.
Right. And then they try to get them put in a state place facility
where they're treated just as bad, if not worse.
Exactly. Yep. If there's even room, even if there's room at the end. Right?
Yep. That's pretty much how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
It's really sad. But then I've been in the home of a woman who was about to be 104 last I saw her. She was about to be 104. God, this was way back. She was born the year the Titanic sank, if I remember correctly. And so she was, her family took, it wasn't even her kids or her grandkids. It was her great-great-grandchildren taking care of her. And they did a beautiful job. They were on top of it. She had no bed sores, nothing. I mean, they kept up with her. You don't see that enough. And even there are some people, no matter how good you take care of them, they're going to get bed sores.
Right.
It's just the body. Especially if they're bony and don't have a lot of muscle mass to begin with, they are going to get bed sores. But, and I've been in a home where there was a mentally challenged person trying to take care of his mother. And that was so heartbreaking. It's one of those things I'm not surprised it's happening.
Right. All right, go ahead, hit play. Let's see what else they have to say.
Yep.
Been identified by a number of different actors or stakeholders in the community. We've come together to try to fix a problem that everyone saw.
Weeks into 2023, after winning his election, Attorney General Anthony Brown pushed to make operating an unlicensed assisted living facility a felony that could be immediately prosecuted.
Nice.
Zach Shirley, director of the Medicaid Fraud Control Unit in the AG's office, advocated for the bill before the Senate Finance Committee.
History has shown that some predatory unlicensed assisted living facility operators will never and should never be licensed. Their facilities are deplorable and their services do more harm than good.
Every state elected official who voted approved the crackdown on unlicensed assisted living facilities, empowering the AG to prosecute. Governor Westmore signed the bill into law. Our team confirmed with the AG's office that there's been only one referral from the Office of Healthcare Quality,
and
regulatory arm of the state health department.
What?
The Attorney General declined to prosecute the Anne Arundel County complaint.
They didn't even prosecute it.
Well,
I know. I know. I know. Calm down. That is the frustrating part of this. Because when I initially watched it, I was like, oh, yeah, all the states should get together to pass this
What's
into
the
law.
point of making a law if you're not going to enforce it?
Exactly. Well, that's a stupid question. I am sorry about that, Crazy B. After everything we've been through the last 7 months, we have all these laws. They don't fucking enforce.
No, I'm talking the last 30 years of my life. I've been like, this is, I know, it's stupid, and we know it, that they're just doing it for their paycheck, but it's fucked up, and we all know it.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Breathe. We can get through this. There's only 3 minutes and 34 seconds left.
Citing insufficient evidence. That means 0 prosecutions, 0 cases brought against unlicensed assisted living facilities in Maryland, despite a unified push to reform.
Mr. Secretary,
we pressed Maryland Department of Human Services Secretary Rafael Lopez about unlicensed assisted living facilities at an unrelated news conference 2 weeks ago in Annapolis. While the state health department oversees assisted living facilities, Lopez's agency oversees adult protective services.
what is your team doing to address issues of vulnerable adults living in unlicensed assisted living facilities in the state?
Actually, I'm not. Can you restate the question? I'm not sure.
So your agency oversees
Adult Protective Services.
Correct, Adult Protective Services. What is your agency doing to address issues of adults, vulnerable adults, living in unlicensed assisted living facilities?
So I'm not familiar with the specific question you're asking. I'll talk about when any case comes to our attention.
Lying its ass off.
Abuse of an adult, we act urgently. And we make sure that we treat that adult with the respect and dignity they deserve. And so on a case-by-case basis, I couldn't speak to that, but ultimately...
Like, the way he even worded it, I don't understand the question. Could you rephrase it? Like, dude, you ain't doing your motherfucking job in correlation and cooperation with the other part of the state that handles it. What the hell?
I know.
Okay. What does he not get?
Lose his job.
Get this person out of office.
Well, he's appointed, so the governor needs
Don't care.
The governor needs to get rid of him.
Yes. I mean, I have seen patients whose checkbooks were being literally just stolen by their crackhead children. And the guy's blood pressure is through the roof, but he's sitting there calm as a cucumber looking. But inside his body was on the verge of a stroke. And that was in Michigan. Again, not Maryland. But when you see shit like that and you then hear politicians like this, my blood pressure goes up. And I can't stay calm as a cucumber. That dude was World War II vet. I guarantee he wasn't going to be fazed by much else.
Right.
Physically. He's not going to show it. But my ass is going to be angry. This... I'm glad I didn't watch this while editing. I'm really glad I didn't. Okay. I'm going to shut up. We're going to get through this. I'm just pissed. I'm so pissed.
I know.
Ultimately, if a case comes to our attention, the leader who runs Adult Protective Services, who's under Dr. Studstill, he and his team will make sure they work closely with the local Department of Social Services and try to problem solve.
How many of these unlicensed adult assisted living facilities exist in the state?
I don't have that at the top of my head, but happy to circle back.
Lopez agency said days later they do not have data categorized
You know
by
what?
setting.
My name is Emily Hammond. I go by EJ.
Yeah, circle back. I know.
Circle back, Saki. Yep.
And then he comes back with, we don't have data on that. You mean none of the hospitals know where they sent patients? Where are the records? Yeah. The records better say where they were sent to, and there you go.
Yep. Circle back. Yeah. He must have went to school with her. Circle back, Saki.
Oh, I need a shot of sake right now. Not her, but the actual Japanese tea liquor. Anyways.
Right.
That didn't sound right the first time. Anyways, someone smacked that man with an iron pan. He's a major idiot. Amen, Blue Rose.
Uh-huh.
Amen. This is the stuff that actually pisses me off. And again, I was raised by a very horrible mother. And when her tactics on me stopped working, she took it out on my kids, which is why everyone else in the family is stuck with her. But if it wasn't, I would at least make sure she was getting proper care in a facility if it fell only to me. She would be in a facility, she would not be taken out, and I would at least make sure she got proper care.
Right.
I'm not going to deal with her myself because I had kids at the time and they're still recovering from her nonsense. But this is just unacceptable. And for the state to be this ignorant to it. Like,
Well, they choose to be, right? I mean, if this was signed into law and it was to be a legislative push and the governor signs off on it, it's the responsibility of the department to discharge those duties. And this guy just freaking goes on camera and says, nope, don't know.
This is called dereliction of duty
Yes,
in its clearest definition.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
I am a partner here at Brown & Barron.
We took questions to medical malpractice attorney Hammond, a seasoned litigator in cases of suspected elder abuse, who says she has researched and had conversations about unlicensed care facilities. Why do you feel that senior care and care for vulnerable adults and it operating in the shadows is not front page of the news every single day?
So our elderly population tend to be quiet, especially when they're ill. They're not making a lot of noise. If this was children or millennials screaming in the streets and marching, you would see much more attention to it. What we have is a quiet generation slowly slipping away and nobody's noticing.
Briefly explain that journey to me.
Well, at the end of the day, a long day, I pray, I just pray, and I sit back and I be quiet, and it gives me a peace of mind. I go to a quiet place, a little quiet area, and I pray to God in Jesus Christ, and I, and take it one day at a time. That's all I can do.
We spoke to 62-year-old George Gilliam in October, who lives at a location government records show is an alleged unlicensed assisted living facility on Garrison Boulevard. He says he likes the home and didn't want to be homeless.
And once I get food stamps, I can, get one of the workers to take me to the store. Because right now, I don't really have anything in my apartment to eat but a bag of rice and water.
Later this week, we'll follow George Gilliam's journey and that of others through senior housing in the state. But until then, have you or someone you know had direct experience with an unlicensed assisted
I'm glad
living
they
home
give
in
this
Maryland?
number.
If so, drop me an email or contact our Spotlight on Maryland tip line at 410-467-4670. I'm Gary Collins with Spotlight on Maryland.
That really just, I'm sorry.
It's a shame.
People are idiots. Horrible, horrible idiots to allow this to keep happening.
And what's interesting, and we've talked about this before, is there's even issues in legit facilities, right? The same types of things still occur. Abusive workers, food that's served as slop.
Deplorable conditions.
I mean, how many have I been at? There was one in particular that I had been moved from one room to I was either going to leave, but they were so worried about what I was going to do, they moved me to a private room. At that point, I would say, well, they weren't listening at that point. And somebody happened to walk in while I was on the phone with Crazy B and somebody else. And they wanted something, and I don't remember how the whole story transpired, but kind of that's how Rex Sisters got to be, was because I said that Crazy B and this other person were my sisters. And at that point, they kind of took the conversation over. Once that,
well, we both had medical experience to help.
Once that worker knew that there were other people that knew their shit, things kind of changed. Now, I have a little bit of medical background. I still had the wherewithal to advocate for myself. But even in that
Mm-hmm.
situation, I was in a stuck condition late at night where I wasn't picking up and just leaving, making a phone call. Eric was quite away from me, and it would have taken, plus the fact that a doctor has to sign you out, and I could not leave until the next morning. So
Mm-hmm.
it even in the nicest places, there's still issues. And so if you plan on putting a parent, a child in any type of facility, please do your due diligence. It's of the
Yes.
utmost importance, and try to check in on them as much as you possibly can. If you have family members, please take turns in checking in on them. You never have any idea and go in unannounced. Don't show up all the time at 8 p.m. where they can be on the lookout. Oh, here comes
Make it
Dee.
random.
Yeah, make it at random times. Show up on a Tuesday at 2 o'clock. See what's going
Do
on.
phone calls
Right.
and video chats.
Yes. Yep. And that includes even when a loved one of any age is in the hospital as well. You have every
Mm-hmm.
right to call the nurses station to check in on your family member, as long as you're on the
To
approved
talk to list.
the talk to list. And you have every right to say, hey, have the nurse call me back, or I want to talk to the social worker or whomever. Just, make
Mm-hmm.
sure that you know what your rights are in all of these cases. So it's
Yep. Because
here.
it will make the difference in your care. And again, just us who have actually worked with hands-on with patients, being on the phone with you can make a huge difference.
Yes. And I guess here we go again. Here's one other little area. Again, that's all messed up, right?
Mm-hmm.
Another one. Add it to the list.
Yep.
And
Our nation, but at least we're not doing what the UK and Canada do. Here's a special pod. Let's lay down and go to sleep.
well, I foresee that coming because
I
already,
do,
yeah,
unfortunately, but it
I
should be a
see,
choice.
right. I see that happening. Already we have what, 3 states? Is it 3? I know New Jersey is one. That would be the closest I would go for euthanasia of myself, if
Mm-hmm.
necessary. No longer do you have to travel to Canada and establish any type of residency or anything.
Citizenship to do
Yeah.
that. Yep.
Yeah, you do have to. I don't know enough details anymore to see if they changed anything, but I know in New Jersey at one point you had to, I believe, it was either 3 or 6 months of residency that you had to live in state in order to do anything. So I
And
think,
again, I always say it should be the patient's choice, not people pushing it on them.
right.
If they're already too far gone, too bad.
Hmm.
And if they made it explicitly clear they're not okay with the sorry, the forever sleepy pods, then yeah, you cannot force it on them, no matter how out of their mind they get.
Right.
I don't care. Now, me, if I start turning out like my mother, I have given my kids permission to take me out back and to just get rid of me and bury me. I don't care. I don't want them having that permanent memories on them of me turning into that.
Right.
So if my state ever allows it, I would take this forever sleepy pod. But I am not going to ever treat my kids like that. Like someone take me out back and get rid of me before I turn into that monster that would abuse children to get back at the parents.
Yeah.
Just don't ever let me do that.
Well, we've also talked about how we treat our pets better than we treat our,
And I have said that before,
right,
yes.
as far as death and dying goes. And that's a whole nother conversation, which elicits different responses in people.
Yeah,
I
it
think,
does.
for the most part, as somebody that is sickly, uh, right now I have a 30-year plan in place, so that's kind of out the window. But previous to everything that happened, I would probably say, hey, vet, take me out and give me whatever. You know what I mean? That we can do a whole series on that whole
Because again, when it comes to our family, we tend to be selfish and want to hold on to them as long as possible, despite their suffering. But our pets, we love them enough to know that that's horrible. It's that difference of selfishness that, like, we love our family so much we don't ever want to let them go. We don't want to see them pass.
Right.
And, you know, a lot of the time we don't get a say in it because natural events happen. But, like, in typical aging, you know, because I've been around it so much, patients know when they're getting to that point. They have like a nesting setup system, like what pregnant mothers go through.
Right.
As you get closer to delivering, you go through a nesting stage, and it is very similar with dying. There are patients who will become a little bit more alert and will say their goodbyes. They will, you know, people with cancers and stuff tend to get their final affairs in order as soon as possible. It's that imminence. We know it's coming, and we feel we need to get everything last minute stuff taken care of. And that is something that's common.
Right. And that's why I've survived the comas as much as I have, is because I have shit to do.
Mm-hmm. Unfortunately, and I still don't know why God rejected me twice, but he did. So I'm supposed to be here. No clue why. I didn't barter.
Well, I bartered in 23. Other than that, I know nothing, but I did barter.
Mm-hmm. But I was 13, so I didn't have a reason to.
That's a lie. I was given a choice. I didn't barter.
Mm-hmm.
I was given a choice.
I wasn't.
I could go. I was given a choice.
I was not given a choice. God just looked at me, said, "It's not your time," and poof, I was in a bad asthma attack and awake in my bed. So, you know, God definitely put me here for something. We just don't know what.
And not only that, I was asked numerous times if I wanted to stay or go.
You had the option.
I did have the option, so it's all anything that happens there on out. See, I messed up. I told you I forgot to say and make it relatively healthy the next 30 years. So I messed up. So if anybody is ever in this situation and you're given a choice, say yes, but I'd like my health too.
Yes.
Yeah, we kind of messed up on that part, but.
Well, I didn't get a say, but I wish I had a say. He just looked at me and said, "Not your time."
No.
There's no options there.
And what's funny is the first go around, I should have sued Eric. I wonder if it's too late. Because he didn't abide by anything that was in my living will at all. Oh,
but the second time you chose to.
Blue, are you kidding me? I just literally said that, and I just seen that pop up on the screen. Yes, I can't blame him. It's all his fault. If he would have abided by the living will in 2012, this would all be a mute point. But no. No. Keep her hooked up to everything. She ain't dying. She's not leaving me. Oh, no.
That's again where we go with selfishness over a patient's needs.
Yeah, go ahead, laugh, Blue. I know where you live. I know your phone number.
Yeah, I popped that up on purpose.
I was actually looking out the door, and I glanced on and was like, "Oh, no, I can't blame him." Yeah. Oh, he's the bane of my existence. That's funny.
Yeah, you love him enough to not divorce him or beat him unconscious.
Yet.
Yet.
Anyway. All right. What do we got up next?
We do have another video that we're playing before the article on Trump's tariffs being walked back a little on some stuff, it looks like.
Yes, ma'am.
So Let's hear what this is
take
about.
a look at the big picture now when it comes to policy out of Washington and bring in Josh Wingrove. He is our senior White House correspondent, and he joins us now from the White House. And Josh, there's any number of directions we can go in here, particularly when it comes to the latest on the Jeffrey Epstein drama and the story there. But I want to start on tariffs, and specifically how the U.S. government is now carving out some tariff exclusions because they need to address this affordability crisis that became very acute after the election results came out. Josh, what are you seeing?
Yeah, we're told the president will sign an order today eliminating tariffs or reducing them at least. It's a little unclear on food products in particular that the U.S. either does not make at all or doesn't make enough of. Beef, coffee, bananas, tomatoes are among that list, we're told. My colleague Adriana and I.
What do they mean we don't make enough beef? Have they not seen the cow farms across the Midwest?
Well, there's an issue
in the plains?
We'll have to get into that maybe next week. There's a little issue with we don't have enough in the United States.
Oh, we had that massive die-off of cows a couple years back.
Correct.
That were having heat stroke and stuff.
And don't forget, our chickens are in dire. Well, they're gone.
Yeah, I can't. My comment is my opinion on that is not accepted by YouTube, so I can't give my opinion on here.
Yeah, just play the story, crazy bee.
Yep. At least on the chickens.
Yeah.
And I just have a story on the terminal shortly about this. Speaking of all the things we could talk about today, forgive me if you hear a lot of sound behind me. The president is currently blaring a playlist on the Rose Garden, and you could hear it all through the compound. You could probably hear it in Virginia. That's a good question, but we just got off Phantom before this, so you know he's you know.
I know he takes a lot of pride in that playlist.
Yes, exactly. So this is obviously, look, the administration is going to say that this is always part of the plan. There have always been exclusions. Jamieson Greer, the U.S. Trade Representative, told us that earlier today here at the White House. It is also, of course, an acknowledgement that tariffs have an impact on the price of things, which Trump has downplayed throughout his tariff campaign. And so it is in some ways at least a tacit sort of retreat or withdrawal. What is, I think, important and clear, or will become clear, and we just don't know right now, is how many of these exclusions apply to countries that have deals and how many are just to countries that don't. And if it's don't, then that I think is more of a step back on the part of the administration. Whereas if they're just confining it to countries that have reached agreements, for instance, they announced 4 just last night, then that, you know, is maybe a bit more of a narrow action. So we just don't know the scope. We don't know what number of foods. We don't know whether the tariffs are simply being eliminated on them. You know, we just don't know what countries. A lot up in the air, but we're told as the president is signing it today, so we expect some details here pretty shortly.
Josh, keeping with this tariff theme, of course, we do know news came out that the U.S. and Switzerland did reach a preliminary trade agreement to lower tariffs on many Swiss goods, including watches, from 39% to 15%. That sounds like a big drop to me here. Talk to us about the developments here between the U.S. and Switzerland.
Yeah, and Liechtenstein, let's not leave them out of the party. Big deal with both of them. This has been in the works for quite some time. The Swiss were hit with a pretty high rate and argued that that was because of some weird distortions in the data and how trade is recorded, including flow of gold. And so they've been sort of clamoring to be treated the same as the EU. That's what this deal essentially, give or take, does. Treat them.
The Swiss who want to be neutral and everything else want to be treated the same as the EU.
Right, because they want that reduction drop.
Yeah, but they want to be neutral on everything else. Like,
I know.
All right, just going to point out that insanity.
That's a lot of money.
It is, but I still want to point out we're going to stay neutral in the world stage as a whole, but when it comes to trade deals, don't cut us short. Right. Don't treat us any different. Well, why don't you start stepping up more on the world stage on some things? Sorry, I'm going to shut up now. Okay.
Treat them the same as the EU with a 15% rate. The flip side is the Swiss are agreeing to a $200 billion investment pledge over 5 years, $67 billion of it, or 1/3 in the next year here in the U.S. That follows models, similar to what we saw, for instance, with the Japanese and Koreans. So they get a deal that they've been waiting for a long time. Trump gets to boast about these pledged increased Swiss investments. But that was sort of one of the sore thumb trade deals that came out with the early math on how Trump calculated his tariffs, and I think is a signal on how a lot of this is really sort of still evolving, really. But between that and the deals announced last night, including with Argentina, but also some other Central American and South American countries, they're sort of starting to check off a lot of the list, and it will raise attention on the other countries, which is starting to be kind of a dwindling number for which Trump has not made a deal. India for sure is one of them. Canada and Mexico are sort of in a different bucket, but we're watching those as well. So he's trying to sort of knock
Canada,
these off.
Mexico,
but the Swiss
definitely.
one is a big one.
Yeah, I'm so glad you mentioned the countries that we don't have deals with, because I think about Canada and Mexico. They're our biggest trading partners, and we still haven't hammered out final details with them. Are there talks scheduled?
My Canadian family do not let me forget it.
I'm
hear
sure.
about it every weekend. Yeah,
it's a lot of
right
uncertainty
now,
for Canada.
Yeah, I think with Canada and Mexico, they're in a different bucket because they have that USMCA carve-out. Trump doesn't like the word exclusion, but that's what it is. And so I think there's genuine conversation going on in both countries about how loud to complain, because they have one of the lowest total average effective tariff rates in the world by merit of the fact that so much of the trade is simply not paying a tariff at all. So those two are in their own bucket, and we'll see where they go. Right now, there's really not a lot of momentum at all in either country for negotiations. This might just get rolled up in the USMCA conversation in the months and years to come. On the other countries, India, that has been a tough one to track. It was the first country that they announced trade progress with, and they just simply haven't gotten there. So I think it's anyone's guess where it'll go. The Swiss thing, I should give a shout out to our colleagues at Bloomberg in Switzerland. We scooped this story a few days ago that they were nearing the deal. We asked the president about it, and he dunked on me for asking all kinds of Swiss questions. But there was a reason, Mr. President. That's why we're here. They're on the cusp of a deal for it. He asked whether I was buying Rolexes, and I cannot afford a Rolex.
Same here.
I wish you well.
But I will point out that I think part of the reason that Trump isn't moving as well with Mexico is the cartels in Canada, because they're complete douchebags.
Especially their prime minister.
And then they also got those, how many provinces that want to separate? So we don't know where that's even at right now.
Correct. They have the two. In fact, I'll make a note to double check on that. I don't think it's gone anywhere yet. I know that they want to secede, but that has to go over to Toronto, I guess, and they're going to be the ones to make that determination. So,
which is sad. I like that our Constitution gave us the right to do so if we so choose.
Right. So we need to check on those provinces and see where they're at. I find it hard to believe they're going to want to give up any of the money. So we'll see what happens with that, though. All right.
One thing at a time.
Yeah, now we'll go on. We have still a lot to cover, Crazy B. If you just want to pull up the article that goes with this and scroll up, down, up, down, up. There you go.
Up, down, up, down.
That you're getting as bad as with the cursor, I see. I know I said it, so I'll own it. Should be a small list, I think, towards the bottom of the page that adds some additional detail.
Oh, right there.
Yeah. Which I think, is stuff we take for granted. Coffee, cocoa, black tea, green tea, vanilla beans, beef, including high-quality cuts, bone-in, fruits, bananas, coconuts, guava, limes, oranges, some frozen, that was under the beef, plantains, pineapples. Interestingly, spices is included. Nuts, grains, roots, seeds, and that's important. Barleys, Brazilian nuts, capers, cashews.
I like water chestnuts.
Yeah, a lot of the nuts and grains are used in cereals, spread, peanut butter, that type of thing. So
I'm allergic to half of those, but that's okay.
So I think, as he said, we're going to see more and more of this being reduced, as I think these negotiation contracts are coming more and more into play here. So However, with Mexico and Canada, Canada particularly, I'd say from the two provinces that want to break away are providing us with a large portion of energy, and Mexico providing a large portion of produce. With all the land from, sea to shining sea, we should be able to produce enough of this shit ourselves, but, without the exception of some of the
tropical fruits.
Yes, thank you. I couldn't think of the word. I knew it was fruit, but I missed the tropical part. I don't know why we can't grow enough food. Why? But again, when you take a look at for example, Smithfield Foods owning a large portion of the meat industry, and who owns that? Do you remember who owns Smithfield Pork? Begins with a C.
Canada? BlackRock?
China.
Oh, China, that's right.
China.
I can't ever remember which ones. They're all owned by somebody.
And it's not people in the United States, that's for sure. So all of these farms have been sold to conglomerates.
Or they sell their meat to them.
Correct.
They raise them for them.
Right.
Yep.
Or, again, we went over the list of how many countries own land in the United States. So whatever goods and services they produce, that's being sold back to us. And somebody really needs to put a stop to it. Again, our country is so large. We're sitting on a vast wealth of energy that we don't need anybody else's oil, gas. We should be able to grow enough food to feed the nation. And that would include all of the illegals that I want out of the country. We could even feed them with all of
if
the
we'd
land
stop
that we have.
doing this crap with other countries,
Right?
Only the small farmers, the little local people, like what my uncle was doing with less than 100 head of cattle, are the ones that can get away with selling locally because they keep it small.
Right.
Sadly.
And that's getting harder and harder for those small places to stay in business because of the costs that they're running into. And even stranger things happen at some of these smaller places where suddenly the whole herd gets sick, or suddenly they're taken out
because they won't sell out.
If they don't sell out, they get sick, or there's an accident at the facility, or
their back 20 acres of growing feed gets caught on fire.
Strange things occur. So we'll see how this plays out, and we'll keep you updated and posted on the tariffs. Now, this is just in relationship to food. This kind of went hand in hand with the SNAP benefit program. The fact that it took people almost a month to receive a check with the holidays coming, with high prices. I kind of wonder, he could have played this hand probably a little bit around election time, a couple weeks before, perhaps. And I think maybe they might have done a little bit better at the midterms. They honed in on health care, but perhaps, the draw was the illegals receiving free health care, but they could have not only presented that, but then they could have come back with a positive spin on the prices that we're feeling at the cash register, perhaps. I don't know. What do you think?
It would have balanced. It would have brought a little bit of balance. Look, we're standing our ground on this, but, let me cut back some of these tariffs. Now, there might have been a reason why this was delayed, talks with the country where some of these things are coming from, but it still could have. It would have been nice to see it earlier in the year.
Right.
It would have.
And who knows, the countries themselves perhaps didn't want to wait until after the midterms because, as we all know, some of them made some nice money under the Biden administration.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe they were holding out. I don't know if we'll ever know all the
ins and outs of it.
Right. But at least, hopefully, and again, my question's going to be how many people are actually going to see a price drop? Because remember, we're already paying for this stuff. Are we really going to see well, they do have specials, obviously, but are we going to see legit price dropping? I don't know.
Honestly, I couldn't afford any of this stuff to begin with. We have not had coffee in the house in months.
Mm-hmm.
We have not had tea of any kind. We don't use vanilla beans, but those get made to make the vanilla extract and stuff that goes into other things. This is going to benefit more the manufacturers than it is us at the other end, the consumer end. This will benefit them. It might help them drop some of their prices, but I'll tell you, a bag of Kroger brand frozen strawberries, a big 5-pound bag of it, was $10.
Wow.
And that was the same cost as the organic brand. I'm like, nope, and nope.
Well,
so we passed up on fruit.
Well, for how many pounds? 5 pounds?
5 pounds.
That's a good price. Fresh one.
It is a good price, but I still don't have $10 to pay for it.
Right.
And they didn't even have smaller options.
But that 5 pounds would have, if you could afford it, would last you how long if that meant getting fruit into the house. Whereas here, a 18-ounce pack of fresh strawberries is $4.56 a container.
Ouch.
Yeah. So
yeah, grapes are expensive down here. It's $3.99 a pound for grapes. I remember when those used to be $1.99.
Well, we've talked prices. So anybody in the chat that, if you see anything positive price-wise, that isn't on,
let us know.
Yeah, let us know. Like, for example, if your coffee is regularly $10 right now, and you see it drop to $9.50, then let us know. We still have yet to see gas prices drop.
Mine have. Gas prices last week were $2.35 a gallon.
Oh, I wish we're still at $3.50 something.
My dad's paying closer to, I think he said $2.95 where he lives.
Wow. See, but you gotta, again, we talked, that's state taxes that get added on. Because, we have the best roads. Okay. Again,
my state doesn't get a lot of ice and wear and tear on the road, so we're pretty good.
Just let's say I don't believe the money goes where it should, but remember,
it never does.
To tell you. All right, so what's up next? Oh, 1 second. Yeah, Crazy Bee, because do you have time if we went over a little bit? Or what's your schedule looking like? Or do you need to hop off at 9?
I could probably push it a little bit later. Probably 9:30 is the latest I can go.
Okay, so give me a second. We have our list, but I want to go out of order a little bit since we were, if you don't mind. Let's skip over the J6 thing. We can go back to that. And
all right.
Hold off on North Carolina because I had something else come in with that I can add. So if you want to hit
the 2 states.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. Go ahead.
One's an article. One's a quick video.
Yeah. Go ahead and hit the 2 states, and then we'll go from there.
All right. So let me rearrange this really fast in here. Now it's up. Don't worry. Just gonna rearrange this list. Cut and then move it down. Oh, I can hit share tab instead. This one. So you can start talking about the title while I'm doing this.
So one of the lawmakers, he reads a paper that he wrote regarding Staten Island wants to declare their independence from New York City. And back in 1993, there was actually a push for secession, but that never went anywhere. And after Mandami wins, they want to secede from New York, given that they are now a socialist city. Most on Staten Island are conservative Republicans. And I'll just paraphrase this all crazy B. We don't need to read the whole thing.
Okay.
It'll be listed in the description, as is all of our information that we provide to you. And before I forget, if I haven't said so already, please don't forget to like, follow, comment, share, and subscribe. And as always, thank you for joining Rex Sisters. We're named that for a reason, in case you forgot. But again, they are going to push for this, gather the signatures that are needed. This goes all the way back. Staten Island goes all the way back to 1776.
Yes.
It's rich in history, and they have just about had it. So they petitioned time and time again for fairness. They don't have reliable transportation. There's not safe streets. And they basically have had it. Their taxes are going up. So they've had it. They want to break away. So he wrote a 500-word written declaration to which he read about how they lack representation, fairness, and respect. He argues that the current and the incoming government are destructive to the principles. He criticizes the city's leadership for neglecting the borough's infrastructure and businesses.
Yep.
So the taxes, they want their money. They want to collect the taxes. The roads crumble. The ferries falter. The small businesses collapse under the weight of regulations that are written for the other boroughs. So they're taxed as if they were Manhattan, and they've had it. So we'll see what comes of this. But that'll be very interesting. It has not happened since, I believe, Rhode Island broke away. Was it Rhode Island? Yeah, since Rhode Island broke away. So they're kind of worried as well. I mean, to have a whole borough potentially be, we didn't vote for this shit coming in. We don't want to be a part of it. We don't want to see the devastation and destruction. And remember, Mandami already had his hand out the day after election saying, we told you to stop donating. Now we want you to start giving again. They've already collected, as we said, over $1 million for him to support his administration coming in. I'd like to see a detailed receipt, line by line, where that $1 million goes.
Yeah.
I would
love to see that.
Because I'll bet you that's going by the wayside some way.
Oh, yeah. Easily.
So, okay. So with that being said,
there's two other states that are talking the same, counties of the states that are trying to do the same thing over in Oregon and Illinois.
Right.
And this is a 10-minute video, but we'll cut it short once it gets through the most of it. But this is an update on what's been going on there.
Hold on one second, Crazy B, because while that's important, that I want to do that one quick piece, and we will cover the remaining tomorrow afternoon from 3 to 5.
Which one piece?
The breaking news that Abbott did. The first one. The X post under the...
Hold on, let me find it. Under Texas?
Yes. And then the one that said breaking news. There was the first one there, the X post about Greg Abbott.
Hold on, let me do the counting. So it was those two. So 1, 2, 3. It should be. Is it this one? Yes, found it.
Okay, cool. This one,
so share
it was
this
breaking
tab.
news, yeah, right out of the gate. And we will have. There's a whole lot more to go with this. We're gonna be, as I stated earlier, we're going to be dropping everything that we've had in the pipeline that's been backlogged on illegal immigration all the way through probably that Monday before Christmas. When we get back, we're going to try to keep illegal immigration to briefly during the week as best we can, especially with the midterms coming up. That's going to be one of the big topics, probably one of the top 3, is the continued illegal immigration. There's a whole lot more to go through this, but a few hours before we went live, Abbott signed into law, well, he designated the Muslim Brotherhood and the Council on American Islamic Relations. That's also known as CARE, and they are throughout the country, almost in every single state. He designated them as a foreign terrorist and transnational criminal organization. This bans them from buying or acquiring land in Texas and authorizes the Attorney General to sue to shut them down. Now, we'll go over this in further detail tomorrow. It'll be in the description for you to read ahead of time if you want to. If not, we'll reiterate this. This is hopefully, if this gets followed, this is a big to-do. This has to do with the Epic City that they planned on building. And when Epic City started to go down, they were going to create another city in and around the Dallas area. So we need to talk about this, and there's a whole lot more that goes on with the Muslim community. Again, we'll get into further detail without letting too much be said. We've talked previously about we are not against any religious organization as long as you are peaceful. For anybody that wants to cross those bounds from any religion into any other religion, Crazy B and I do not subscribe to that at all. So you practice your faith, I practice my faith, or no faith. Let's all just get along if we can. And
Yep.
we'll
There's no reason my religious beliefs should be infringing on their religious beliefs, and there is no reason theirs should be coming into mine.
Correct. And we've talked a little bit about that, but again, there's a lot to go with this, and we have more to cover. But this was one of the biggest breaking news things, in my opinion, that came out today, and there was a lot that came out. But I'm not quite so sure, and I apologize for getting off track, but I'm not quite so sure that I've heard of a governor actually designating an organization as a terrorist organization. I'm sure they have. I don't even want to say I'm sure they have because I don't know.
I mean, they possibly can, and that means that they can't operate in the state, but they could go to a different state,
right,
and take their business there,
right. Versus if the federal government stepped in and said that they couldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is going to be an interesting dynamic going forward. And you'll see
Well, again, our government, our original founding fathers meant for the states to have the final say, and the federal law had very little say over what the states did. And now it's been so twisted around. The federal government tells everyone what to do, and the states have had to fight back about it quite a bit.
right. And again, you know me, I'm conflicted with that issue in that, how would we pick up if Texas deemed them to be a terrorist organization, or is that okay for them to come into where you live and into
Mm-mm.
your state, set up operation, and perhaps
I could only hope that my
take
state would do the same thing Texas
right,
did.
right. But we know that that's not going to be the case, right? We know for a fact that there's going to be blue states that would permit this, or blue
Well, those
cities.
blue states can suffer from it like they're about to in New York.
Well, unfortunately, there's spillover, so we're back to, separating. The country. I don't know. I'm not quite sure how this one's going to play out, but
I know. Well, and this is again where when religion and politics are one and the same in some areas of the world, and we separate them here,
right,
it's complicated. It gets very complicated because we say freedom of religion. Well, their religion literally is it's tied 100% into their politics.
exactly.
How do they separate it? They don't know how.
Right. And that has to do with my issue of assimilation into the country.
Which totally got bypassed and thrown to the wayside by the Biden administration for 4 years.
Yes, ma'am, it did.
And now we have to deal with it. Because this wasn't happening before the Biden administration. We didn't have this flat out, we're going to start our own little city and you guys get no say in it. That didn't exist.
But I don't know about that. We need to delve into, which will be a larger topic this is just scratching the surface. This has been, remember we played that clip of the one Muslim person saying, we've been playing the long game. We've been playing the long game for 25 years. Now with Mandami, it's kicked up and watch what happens, right? So perhaps, see, and I said it before and I'm going to put it out again. My theory here is Abbott deliberately forced the illegals into the rest of the country so that we would not be paying attention to what else is going on under the surface's water. He is
I don't know if he's smart enough to do that.
Well, people around him, somebody there, I'm telling you, there is something more at play here than just.
Well, I remember under the Biden administration him saying we're running out of resources and the federal government wasn't sending more resources. So he started shipping people out. Florida did the same thing because they were running out of resources.
Okay, so why they didn't have to go to New York City? Why didn't he send them to California with Gavin?
He sent them to sanctuary cities. He sent some to California, some to New York, and some straight to the front yard of Kamala Harris,
right,
in Washington, D.C.
I remember that. Yeah, I remember. But I'm saying
he sent them to what is that, Martha's Vineyard, where Obama lives.
Right, and
he sent them all over
within the week. They were gone within a couple of days.
There was a couple of days. Yeah, they couldn't handle. And it's like, and Abbott said, if you guys can't handle for a couple of days, what do you expect us to do? Yet you're a sanctuary place. Well, that was his point, is if your sanctuaries, step up and start taking care of them. Right. Is what he said back then.
He's still sending them as of today, right? My point in all of this is, I get he had a message, potentially, that he wanted to deliver. Could he have been led astray by the cartels that said you're going to get these people out and about the country and let somebody try to collect them all up? I don't know. You mean to tell me that California, from north to south, couldn't have taken in all these illegals?
I know he did send some to California. They just don't care, which is why it didn't make the news.
Right. I don't know, Crazy B. I'm kind of. It depends. Research isn't looking good for him. I'm telling you. I'm really.
Because again, he just specifically picked all the Muslim people to ship out. Because from my understanding, it was a lot of South Americans
No, I
that
don't
went to
know.
New
That's
York.
not. No, you're missing what I'm saying. I'm saying that he predominantly sent illegals, which were mostly from South America, although we've identified 185 countries. The large portion are from South America. Okay, they are out and about in the country. The news is all about illegal immigration, illegal immigration. In the meantime, all this other stuff is going on with the Muslims. Look at Dearborn, look at Hamtramck.
But that's something Rashida Tlaib and what's her face Ilhan Omar would absolutely love.
Right. Well, with the rest of the stuff, 42 Muslims throughout the United States have just been appointed to political offices. So
I want to know more about their backgrounds and,
exactly.
were they born here? Were they raised here? Or were they like Mamdani, raised here but totally not American?
Exactly.
And again, that's where
42 people to take a look at. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. And I know a lot of people are saying 42 isn't much. It is when they start bringing in more.
Well,
it is.
And it also, we need to take a look at and this is where I'm wondering if this is, remember I talked about sleeper cells? And
that's something that's been a concern since 2001.
Right, exactly. So we had the issue of, and here we just blew out the whole kind of, not the rest of the videos. We can finish up with this discussion and then get into the rest tomorrow. But I am in no means against the Muslim population being here. I am against, although I do not know enough to speak about other than according to their religion. Unless you convert, you are considered an infidel to be dealt with. And we'll leave it at that. So,
and that is a big problem with the religion, that it was literally just convert the world, and anyone who doesn't convert should die. That's not what the other religions were really based on. And yes, there are radicals in all branches who think everyone needs to convert, but there's a big difference.
Right. And so we talked about potentially, was there going to be another 9/11? I was like, no, I don't think that would happen. My thought originally was perhaps it would be throughout the United States. 3 events would happen in one day, and we'd be scrambling to try to get that all taken care of and, whatever. Now I'm wondering if the sleeper cells, and we were worried about China and any of the other, Russia perhaps, and now I'm thinking, with the number of occurrences that have been happening, is this perhaps the plan the whole time?
I don't see how a big event, like you were talking, like even 3 big events, that would just push for more people to want them out.
Right.
And that wouldn't allow them to stay. But if they stepped up, and if an event happened and they stepped up to rebuild or take over as leaders, take on leadership roles,
and then
it kind of cements them even more. Yeah.
So, in some respects, depending on how fast Mamdani's going to move, if New York falls, and I'm praying to goodness that they fall hard and fast, if that happens, maybe there'll be the wake-up call that's needed, although I'm not sure about that. But if he cannot stay in check, perhaps everything is for naught. I don't know. But with the information that we're going to be presenting, we'll see what you guys think. If we're onto something, aren't we, in no, I will tell you, if somebody is coming after me, mine, whatever, the country, the United States that we fall under the Constitution of the United States of America. If any other entity is coming after that, then yes, I'm racist. All right?
That's not even racist. It's just being logical. Our country wasn't raised for generations to be under dictatorship, even though it is kind of the par for the course with what history we're trying to, delay it as much as possible.
Right.
But again, they're going to have a hell of a time when they get to the middle region where I'm at, with the rednecks and the people with the bunkers full who have zero tolerance for being told what to do because, America and freedom and fuck that.
Right.
And yeah, I wish them luck. They might get the big cities. They might get some blue states, but they ain't getting every state.
Right.
It's going to take a long ass motherfucking time before they're going to get the southern states in the belt region, like where I'm at.
Right.
Good luck getting them. Good luck getting the mountain folks to convert. Good luck. Good luck finding them to get them to convert. Exactly. We'll put it that way too.
Right.
I mean, they're not going to succeed all in one swoop. This is going to have to take decades. It's not going to. I just don't see how they could pull it off. Even if they get every major city, there are going to be outlying states and regions of the state that just will not comply. It will turn into battle zones, and people aren't going to play. And I guarantee America is much better at taking people out than it is in converting them to some bullshit.
That's true. Now, on this, and we'll have more on this, we have it lined up for the rest of this week, but just real quick before we end the night, everybody recalls Walt Disney in Florida, and they were their own, quote, city, where they did not pay certain taxes. They had their own police, fire, EMS. They were like their own little city, country, whatever. They did what they wanted when they wanted. Between DeSantis and Trump, that all came to an end. And then it was like, you will be paying state taxes. You are not. And that was a huge argument.
Yeah.
Come to find out that the Muslims wanted to build a center called, or a city called Epic Center, or Epic City.
Yep. We talked about that.
Yes, in Texas. Now,
that got shot down.
Yeah, that was eliminated by Abbott shutting it down. The DOJ, it was referred to them for investigation, to which they did not prosecute. They dropped the case. Now, more recently, Ken Paxton, about 2 weeks ago, found improper securities being done. So there's going to be a lawsuit. They are going to try to shut them down. So with this additional piece, and that's in our notes, Crazy Bee, but with what Abbott just did today, I think what they're going to try to do is put these hand in hand and put these people between a rock and a hard place. So the scare must be in Texas for this city to be built, especially if it's going to be in and of itself.
Yeah.
I just don't see anybody getting away with that Disney model setup.
No, that's not going to happen.
Right. Unless, I don't know. Could you see a blue state authorizing something like that, though? Like a California? Do you see Newsom giving it his blessing?
Newsom, yes. And parts of New York City, but the rest of the state ain't going to play that game in New York.
Huh. Well,
And governors can override mayors.
Right.
So it makes sense. They would do something, they would try, but they're going to fail in a lot of states.
Well, I only hope that's true. As I said, Dearborn, and did I say it correctly? Hamtramck?
Hamtramck, yep.
Hamtramck, I'm getting there.
Gotta love the Polish city.
Dearborn has gone over 52%, is now Muslim.
It's sad.
So
Dearborn Heights, because Dearborn Heights has always been Muslim.
Okay.
Dearborn's been predominantly Muslim, and Hamtramck, well, since the 90s, the late 80s, early 90s, was switched over.
Right. And so with that being said, and I mean, we've talked, go listen to the previous videos if you haven't done so already. We don't need to beat a dead horse. But they're being voted on into your school boards, into the local, state, federal government, and laws supporting their beliefs are being put on the books. So, again, we'll get into further detail on that. So we might as well call it a night then, Crazy B. I know you have stuff to do, and
I've got family who's got to be up at 5 in the morning to get to work by 6. So that's the only reason I'm gotta call it any kind of night.
Yeah, we're good. So everybody have a good evening, and don't forget to please like, comment, follow, share, subscribe, all of that. If you haven't done so already, please join the Discord where more information is available to you, or you can just meet the community at large.
We have conversations that YouTube and Rumble may not mostly YouTube won't let me have in stating my opinions as to why things are the way they are, because,
right,
we know how it goes.
Yeah, we can play the game. All right, so everybody have a good night, and we'll see you tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yep. So I'll always end with stay safe, stay sane, stay sober, and we'll catch y'all on the next one.
Good night.
Good night.